Let's get right into it. Number 10. Drinking your own pee. Ah yes, the Bear Grylls special. Nothing screams, "I'm surviving," like sipping a warm glass of homemade body lemonade. You've seen it in every survival show. The hero, alone in the desert, decides that hydration is hydration. Right? Wrong. Your pee is basically your body's trash juice. It's a lovely cocktail of urea, salt, and metabolic leftovers your kidneys were desperate to get rid of. When you drink it, you're not recycling water, you're reintroducing toxins your body already said goodbye to. It's like taking the garbage out, then immediately dumping it back in your living room because it's still kind of fresh. In short-term emergencies, a few sips might not kill you immediately. But the more dehydrated you get, the more concentrated your pee becomes, saltier, more toxic, and way more disgusting. It turns into a self-destructive cycle. The salt makes you thirstier, your kidneys struggle harder, and before long, you're essentially drinking poison while convincing yourself it's natural. Also, fun fact, if you're in a desert, that liquid gold will dehydrate you faster than doing a TikTok dance under the sun. So yeah, maybe skip the urine latte and look for shade instead. Basically, the only thing pee will help you survive is a bad reputation. Number 9. Sucking out snake venom. Let's set the record straight. If you get bitten by a snake, you are not a human syringe. The whole cut the wound and suck out the venom move is pure Hollywood nonsense. Here's what really happens. When venom enters your bloodstream, it spreads insanely fast, like gossip in a small town. By the time you whip out your survival knife and start channeling your inner cowboy medic, it's already too late. And even worse, trying to suck the venom out can damage tissue, spread infection, and, oh yeah, get venom in your mouth. Congratulations, you've just given yourself a matching set of problems. What actually helps? Immobilizing the limb, keeping calm, and getting medical help ASAP. Basically, the opposite of everything action movies have ever taught you. The venom needs professional antivenom, not your DIY enthusiasm. If you're ever tempted to play snake surgeon, remember, you're not saving your friend, you're just adding a weird bonding story for the ER staff later. Basically, suck it up does not apply here. Number 8. Eating snow for water. You're freezing, lost, and thirsty. You see snow and think, perfect, free water. But plot twist, snow is the silent killer of body heat. When you eat snow, your body has to melt it internally, which takes energy, your energy. Every handful of snow you eat is like putting an ice cube directly into your core temperature bank account. Your body burns precious calories trying to warm it up, which actually dehydrates you faster. Also, snow isn't exactly Fiji water. It can hold bacteria, pollutants, or delightful animal surprises that'll make your insides throw a tantrum. If you absolutely must use snow, melt it first, over a fire, under your armpit, in a container, whatever. Just don't shove it straight in your mouth like a feral popsicle addict. Because nothing says ironic obituary like freezing to death while surrounded by water. Number 7. Playing dead with bears. Ah yes, the age-old advice. If a bear attacks you, play dead. Simple. Except it's not, because bears didn't read the same internet article you did. The truth is, which bear matters. If it's a grizzly bear, playing dead might work. They usually attack to neutralize a threat. Once you go limp, they might lose interest. But if it's a black bear, congratulations, you just became an easy snack. Black bears attack for food, not defense. So yeah, one bear wants to stop you, the other wants to eat you. Big difference. Also, people forget that playing dead doesn't mean lie down and wait for a miracle. It means curl up, protect your vital organs, and try not to scream as a 600-pound carpet of muscle sniffs your head. If you can identify the bear and act accordingly, great. If not, well, at least your obituary will have solid views on Reddit. Basically, playing dead only works if you've done your bear homework. Otherwise, you're just playing dinner. Number 6. Rubbing Frostbite to warm it up. Your fingers are stiff, numb, and turning that concerning shade of frozen chicken nugget. So what do? Rub them, obviously. That's what everyone says, right? Wrong again. Rubbing frostbitten skin is like sanding down an ice sculpture with a cheese grater. All you're doing is shredding tissue that's already dying. When your skin freezes, ice crystals form inside your cells, and friction makes them rupture like microscopic water balloons. Congratulations, you just made your frostbite worse. And don't even think about using direct heat, like a fire or heating pad. You can't feel temperature properly at that point, so you might just cook your fingers before your nerves even notice. The correct move is painfully boring. Rewarm the area gently in warm, not hot, water, about bath temperature. Oh, and once it's thawed, don't let it refreeze. That's the real death sentence. Imagine thawing your hand, then sticking it back in the freezer. Your tissue cells basically go, "Oh cool, round 2, and just give up entirely. So, next time you're freezing your limbs off, resist the instinct to rub them like you're starting a campfire. You'll end up with something way worse than cold hands. You'll have permanent damage and a deep hatred for winter. Basically, the right way to fix frostbite is slow, boring, and absolutely unheroic, which means most people ignore it. Number 5. The moss always grows on the north side trick. You're lost in the woods, no compass, no GPS, and zero clue which way is north. So you remember that cool nature fact from some scout handbook. Moss grows on the north side of trees, except it doesn't. Not reliably, anyway. Moss grows wherever it's shady and moist, which can be any direction depending on the environment. In dense forests or damp valleys, moss might be all over the trunk, north, south, east, west, or diagonally confused. Following the moss myth could send you walking in circles until you're just another cautionary tale for future campers. Real navigation tricks involve things like the position of the sun, the stars, or crazy idea carrying an actual compass. If you're depending on moss to guide your survival, you might as well ask a squirrel for directions. The myth came from northern hemisphere forests where the north side tends to get less sun, making it damper. But nature doesn't do rules. It does chaos. So while the moss trick sounds smart, it's basically like using astrology for hiking. Sometimes vaguely true, mostly disastrous. Basically, if you're trusting moss to save you, the forest will happily keep you forever. Number 4. Punching a shark in the nose. You're swimming. Suddenly there's a shark, and you remember, just punch it in the nose. Like that's a totally normal thing people do underwater. First off, good luck punching anything accurately in the ocean. You're basically moving through pudding. And the shark's nose, the part with all its sensory magic, is surprisingly small and hard to hit when it's, biting you. Even marine biologists say this advice is oversimplified. Sure, the nose is sensitive, but if you're already in that position, your best bet is to aim for the eyes or gills, the soft, vulnerable spots. Sharks don't like getting poked there. But the best shark defense is prevention. Avoid thrashing around, don't swim near seals, and maybe don't wear shiny jewelry that makes you look like an underwater disco ball. The whole punch the shark idea came from old military training manuals, but let's be honest, if your survival plan involves fistfighting a prehistoric killing machine, things have already gone very wrong. Basically, you can try to punch a shark, but it's probably just thinking, ah, cute. Number 3. Lighting a fire with gasoline. You're cold, wet, and desperate. You pour a little gasoline on some wood to help it catch. A spark later, boom. You've just invented the world's most painful flamethrower. Gasoline burns at a ridiculously high temperature and evaporates fast, meaning those invisible fumes are the real hazard. Light a match too close, and the fire doesn't politely start on the wood. It starts on you. That's how campers earn free helicopter rides to burn units. Survival fires are supposed to be slow and controlled. Tinder, kindling, oxygen. Fire science, not pyromania. A little dry bark, paper, or birch peel does the job. It's the same reason pouring gas on a campfire to make it bigger is how dads accidentally trend on local news. Basically, if your survival plan starts with just add gasoline, your next step will probably be just add paramedics. Number 2. The Magic of Tourniquets. In every dramatic movie scene, someone gets bit, stabbed, or mauled, and the hero instantly whips off their belt, ties it around the limb, and yells, Hold on, you'll be fine. Spoiler, they probably won't. Tourniquets do have a purpose. When used correctly, they can stop catastrophic bleeding from a severed artery. But here's the catch. They're not the just wrap it tight and hope solution Hollywood makes them out to be. Improperly applied tourniquets can cause nerve damage, tissue death, and even amputations. And leaving one on too long basically turns your limb into an unviable meat popsicle. Most real medics are trained to apply them precisely, loosen them in intervals, and mark the time of application. Not just crank them on like a jar lid and forget about it. Also, here's a plot twist. Many wounds don't need a tourniquet. Direct pressure and bandaging stop most bleeding. The belt trick should be your absolute last resort, not your go-to move. So, when survival influencers say, always carry a tourniquet, sure, but only if you know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're just fast-tracking your own amputation cosplay. Basically, a tourniquet can save your life or cost you an arm and a leg. Literally. Number 1. Starting a fire by rubbing sticks together. Let's end with the biggest survival myth of all, the stick-rubbing fantasy. You've seen it in every survival show ever. The lone survivor kneels down, rubs 2 sticks like an over-caffeinated squirrel, and suddenly, boom, fire. Yeah, no. Unless you're a friction wizard, that's not happening. Starting a fire this way is technically possible, but it requires the right wood, the right humidity, the right angle, the right technique, and about 30 minutes of pure arm pain. It's less easy survival skill and more wood-themed CrossFit. Most people trying this in real life either end up with blisters, smoke, and tears of frustration, or they give up and freeze. The energy you waste doing it could literally cost you your life in a cold environment. Real survivalists carry fire starters, lighters, or ferro rods because, get this, technology works. It's not cheating. It's called not dying. And if you ever find yourself thinking, I'll just make fire the old-fashioned way, remember, the old-fashioned way also included freezing to death at 28. Basically, rubbing sticks together is great. If you're a Boy Scout being graded, not a human icicle trying to survive the night. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.